What's going on, everyone? Alex with the World of Whasian channel, and behind us is our beloved no CO2 shrimp generator tank, which is now over 600 days old at this point. It's almost 2 years old, if you can believe it. So before we get into what is going on right now, I'm going to go ahead and backtrack and show you what I've been doing with for the past couple of weeks with this tank. So here we are. We are 2 weeks, roughly, give or take, in the past, and as you can see, this tank got wildly overgrown. Honestly, I don't really have a good excuse other than that I have been super busy for the holidays, and for all intents and purposes, it is a perfectly well-contained ecosystem and things are actually thriving in here. But I kind of want to get the Rotala generator look that we had going on. I kind of miss it, so we got to get to work. As you can see here, we're just pulling out so much duckweed and water lettuce and Wolfia. As you can see, Wolfia is a little tiny plant that is next to the duckweed. It looks like a small version of duckweed, and it is all over the place. It's pretty much infested my entire fish room at this point. There's nothing I can really do about it other than physically remove it from time to time and be extremely meticulous about it. Yeah, as you can see, we have the Indian almond catappa leaf in here. This is the same one that we had in here in the 500-day video. It's completely disfigured. It's been broken down for the most part. And if you take a look here, I mean, yeah, look at all the hair algae. So we are now back in the present. We are in the timeline in which this video started at originally. So let me show you what's happening. So just for the record, I have been running the skimmer overnight just to get all of the duckweed that I could and all the Wolfia out of the surface, and it actually helped out tremendously. As you can see, there's still some stragglers, but it is a far cry from what it was. So yeah, I did a pretty good job. So upon further investigation, after taking the time to clear up everything, honestly, it's actually looking pretty good. It's looking really nice and scaped, and from farther away, it actually looks pretty decent. All the epiphytes in here are doing wonderfully. I mean, this thing was blocked of light, but I mean, use Flander and Nubius, they thrive in low light, so no issues there. Java moss has also been growing like crazy, but the Rotala has not been doing too well, and the Ambrulia and some of the other stem plants that we have in here, we have some Ludwigia repens, it's not doing too well either. So I think what's going on here is a bit of a situation called trace toxicity, where plants get too much nutrients, and essentially it happens when you over-fertilize and you simply don't have the light to suffice for the amount of fertilization that is going on in the tank. And basically this is an issue when you give too much food to a plant, but it's not able to photosynthesize, and it doesn't have the light to supplement the food that it's getting. It becomes an issue. Because it's a twofold situation. Plants need more than just food, and on the other side of things, plants also need more than just light. And the way I was really able to diagnose this is the fact that we have relatively high lighting running now, and there's no light blockage anymore, and all of the new growth in here, as far as the rotala goes, has actually been really good. So that leads me to believe that the nutrients in here are now in check, um, and they weren't before when the light was completely blocked out. So the unfortunate reality in this situation is leaves that have been damaged from trace toxicity or malnutrition, anytime rotala gets holes in the leaves, it is not able to repair itself, and the only thing that you can do really is you kind of just have to trim it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. It's also worth noting there was a ton of hair algae in here as well, and I'm not entirely sure how much that was affecting the overall health of the rotala, but I'm going to assume that it wasn't helping. So that's also worth noting, and that is just the struggle of having a low-tech tank long term. Just these situations, they just kind of come and go. I find that low tech is actually a big challenge long term, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start cleaning. I'm gonna use this toothbrush to get some of this hair algae out of here. And there's hair algae and java fern and lots of detritus here, as you can see. This is all from the almond leaf that was breaking down in here. So, yeah, sit back and relax, and I'm gonna get to work. Alright, so it has been roughly 2 days since we have done the mass trimming of the shrimp generator tank, and honestly speaking, it's too early to tell if things are going to improve or not, but based off of what I saw from the plant growth before we trimmed back everything, the new plant growth was doing relatively well, which leads me to believe that hopefully we solved all the issues at hand, and from here on out, it should start to look more desirable again. So it is worth noting that I am running an Whasian biocompact filter in here. I think just due to the stagnant nature of having all the floating plants in here that we did, they're I mean, in a tank that already was filterless, having all those floating plants in there, it allows for these different temperature pockets of water, and that can stimulate algae growth, temperature difference in certain pockets that might be caused by the blockage of floating plants and other roots. Um, there can be a nutrient imbalance amongst the entire tank, so that is something that is worth noting, and trying to really crack down on that, because I think that might be the reason why we have algae in here, because algae has never actually been an issue in here before, and it's interesting that we are now having algae problems. Granted, we had all of those floating plants in there, because typically floating plants are used to really crack down on algae removal, but perhaps it caused it this time around. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. That's just me theorizing. It might be something else entirely. I don't know. And at the end of the day, it could also be something as simple as too many nutrients. Who knows? So all that being said, it's still too early to tell whether or not this will be a success or not, but what I can say right now is cheers to 600 days on the shrimp generator, and perhaps many more. I believe the next time I document this on this YouTube channel in a long form video, I think we'll do a 2-year video, and that'll be pretty cool. So hopefully it looks better before then. And yeah, I'm Alex for the World of Whasian channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy holidays, everyone. Stay safe.